I'm joined here today by the one, the only, it is a victorious, of course, John De Jesus. What's going on, man? How are you?
Living
I'm doing well, man.
great.
Thank you for asking. The people may have noticed off the top, right? I didn't try to say your opponent, but you are coming off the win at Bellator 244. Your opponent, I mean, listen, at some point you have to admit when names are, super complicated, but you are coming off a victory off of him, man. How does it feel to be coming off this victory?
For the sake of this interview,
Yeah, there you go, Vladdy. I mean, how's the performance looking? Like, are you happy with the performance looking back on it?
I mean, man was 16-1, Tumble champion. Everybody got to lose that fight, but as far as how I feel about the fight is, I felt like I should have finished him. I had 2 chances to finish him, so I'm a little disappointed in that aspect of the fight. But all in all, it was a pretty good night.
Looking back on it, I believe it was the 3rd round, I think, where you landed that huge knee and you shattered his nose. I mean, when you landed that, did you think this is it? Like, I'm about to get the finish?
I shattered his nose. He stumbled a little, and then I hit him with the knee to the body, which made him make some noises, some little noise. So I felt like I could have finished him there if I would have just put the pressure on right there and then. But what he was really good, even while he was rocked, was getting to my hips, closing that distance real fast. So he was able to do that. He was able to do that and survive.
And so are you frustrated looking back on it? Because I know fighters, like, you guys are so critical of yourselves. Like, are you frustrated when you think back to that sequence, or are you just happy that, you came off and got the big victory?
A little bit of both. I was close 2 times in that 3rd round when I had him in that plum clinch. I was kneeing him in the body, and I felt like he was going then too. I felt like he was about to break if I would have just pushed just a little harder, and he was able to survive. He was a tough dude, man. I mean, I'm gonna give him his credit. He's 16-1. He got there by beating 16 other dudes that I'm sure were tough too. So it is what it is. I got the win, got my Bellator debut underneath me, and looking for bigger and better things now.
And so what was the talk going into the fight? 'Cause you mentioned everybody and their mothers thought you were going to lose. What was the talk heading into the fight? And, like, who was it from? Was this, like, something from the fans? Was it something from the media? Where were you hearing that kind of talk from?
The odds, I was 450 dog or something like that. And I already knew going in, with my record being 12-8 at the time and his record being 16-1, that I was going to be a big underdog, and that maybe Bellator was bringing me in to push one of their guys, or push him because he had a teammate on the card. Whatever the case was, me and my teammates knew that this dude wasn't going to come close to beating me.
And so what does that do for you as a fighter when you hear stuff like that? Like, you have that narrative, right, that I guess they're using you or whatever. Like, I assume you got a chip on your shoulder, and it got to make you angry a little bit, right?
Nah, man, they can. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I know what I'm capable of. My loved ones know what I'm capable of. My teammates know what I'm capable of. It is what it is. Everybody else can think what they want. I'll sit here and shock the world each and every time.
And so what was the reaction after the fight? You go back on social media and things like that. What was the reaction like? I assume you must have, like, blown up for a little bit.
For sure. I'm still blowing up. My Dominican fan base is going through the roof. Mi hermano, si mi hermana, ya tú sabes, quiero mucho. It's everything's good right now. I'm just looking for the next opportunity to really showcase my skills. I don't feel like I did that my first time around.
And so how important is it for you to build up that Dominican fan base? Because it can be a little bit difficult, right? We see, like, there's a lot of guys trying to build it up, and, of course, in the United States, in their native countries as well. How important is that for you?
I just got to go out there and perform, man. That's what's sorry. I got to do what I do best and showcase a little bit of merengue while I do it.
For sure. So so this was, of course, your Bellator debut. Is that, when you look back on it, was that, like, the ideal debut, right? Like, you go out there, you prove the odds wrong and everything. You don't get the finish, but looking back on it, I assume it must have been a pretty great debut with Bellator.
Oh, for sure. And I showed some great things. I showed my speed, my timing, my ability, what I've been saying all week long. They know I'm legit. My record might say otherwise, but they know I'm legit. So once they have me back and I knock out Adam Boric, they'll keep calling.
So what's your situation like with Bellator? Are you on a long-term contract or you brought in just for one event? What's your situation like?
I'm not on a long-term contract yet. It was just one of those type of things that if I impress Bellator, that we could have a conversation later on. I feel like I'll be having that conversation with them here soon.
Yeah, so it's fair to say that you impressed Bellator, right? Like after a performance like that, there's got to be that conversation.
Right.
So what does this do for your career at this point? Because you mentioned the guy was 16-1. Now you've made him 16-2. Like people have got to be talking about you, like getting excited about your future and everything. Like there's got to be something big in the works, right?
I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Adam Boric is 14-1. That's another killer, another a striker that's been. He finished Pat Curran, which is a former world champion. I want to knock that dude out. I almost did. He was offered me 3 weeks ago now, the opportunity to fight me, and he said no for some reason. So I want that one. That's the fight that I want.
So what is it about that fight that makes you want it so much? You mentioned Adam Boric. Is it about the fact that you could have potentially had that fight, or is there something personal in there?
There's nothing personal, man. This is all fun and games. I just want to put his lights out and make a name for myself.
For sure. Looking back at this now, we mentioned that his record was 16-1. You made it 16-2. Is there a certain pride knowing that you added that little 2 in there? Like it was it's a nice record looking back, but you got to put a little bit of a dent in it, especially with the way the odds were looking.
100%. I was calling him Little Habib all week long. He finished a lot of chokes. He put a lot of pressure on the other fighters. He took them down with that cage control, and then once they made a mistake, he was able to put in those chokes. And I was able to stop him. And I told somebody else that my distance and range, I'm going to hit him from shots that he's never seen before, and that's exactly what I did.
And so we saw that for a lot of these Bellator guys, especially people like yourself, right, that are getting signed just outright for one fight, it's on extremely short notice. What was the notice like for you heading into this fight?
I think I had 3 weeks' notice, but my manager had told me beforehand, stay ready. I might have something big for you. I don't know if it's going to be Bellator or something else, but it's going to be something big, so stay ready. So that's what I did.
And so what's the training camp like with 3 weeks? Because obviously you can stay in shape beforehand, but then you have to start worrying about the weight cut, the game plan, and things like that. How was this camp compared to, I know guys usually like 8 weeks. How different was it considering you only had 3 weeks?
It wasn't that different because my main training partner, Kama Worthy, was getting ready for a fight, and I was there every day trying to help him out get ready for his fight, which is another southpaw, so it worked out perfectly. So I was in shape and ready to go early on, way before they even called my name.
And so we talked a little bit about the fans after the fight, but what's your social media looking like? Did it blow up? Like, are the numbers looking real good, especially sponsors-wise? What's the social media looking like?
It sure did. I just added Impact Mouth Guard to Team De Jesus. Welcome to the squad. I actually just did that today. It's looking good. My social media blew up too while this whole thing has been going on. At the moment, I just want the next opportunity. Right now, that was just a taste. I don't feel like I showed what I'm really capable of in the cage. And a lot of people know that.
For sure. And we see the shirt you're currently wearing. It looks like you've got some merch of your own. What can you tell us about some of your merchandise?
Yeah, I got my Platino Power shirt here. Go catch it on JohnDeJesusMMA.com. And we're just building from here on out. We're just trying to make a name for ourselves here.
Sounds good. Realistically, man, I know it's really complicated because you got to have a sit down with Bellator, and maybe some other promotions will be, trying to call your manager and make stuff happen. But realistically, when do you think we're going to see you fight again?
I was hoping for the September card in Bellator, or maybe I just want at least one more by the end of this year. I already said it before early on that 2020 was going to be my year, and then COVID happened and some other things happened, and it was looking a little rocky there, but I still believe that 2020 still is going to be my year to show the world what I'm about.
All right, one last question. Normally, I finish up the interviews. I usually ask guys who they want next, but you made it very clear who you want next. So I want to end it on this. If you have a message for Adam or something you want to say, like why you want to fight him, of course, the floor is yours, my man.
Adam the Kid Boric, don't be scared, boy. I'm coming for you. Either way, one way or the other, you're going to see me in the cage, and I'm going to put my hands on
All right, there we go. Thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the victory, and hopefully you do end up with this Boric fight. I think it'd be a good one.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Thank you.